So he's like, oh, oh, you're cutting me? Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
So I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, of course, everyone knows the story by now. Antonio Brown, he leaves the field, shirt off, in the middle of a game, towards the end of the game, whatever, but the game is still going on, and everyone goes into a frenzy, right?
The initial reactions were the best part of this story.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much. I mean, he has got such a wild out there history. My first reaction, honestly, was like, he's probably a mentally fragile guy at this point in his life. Maybe he has some CTE going on and something just set him off. And I was watching the game, but I wasn't sure what might have set him off. And so I was like, maybe he just had one of those, like, inappropriate reactions or something.
Yeah. My initial reaction was, let's see, like, there has to be a reason why that happened. And then number two, there could be some CTE going on, right? Because I was writing notes for the show, and I had this thing coming in, well, by then maybe we'll know what's going on, but just in case, let me write down some of the recent things that have happened, because we've had some football players towards the end of last year, this year, that's had some, killing folks and beating up their old ladies, and then a couple who has recently passed away, and they can see those, CTE inside of their brain, because of course they can't really see it until that person passes away.
Right. You know what one, for some reason it came to mind, and it was different, but there was a Carolina linebacker, Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
And
I remember Luke.
He broke down crying, like, on the sideline of a game, and he was just staring at the field, and he had, like, the tears running down his face, and it was not, it wasn't connected to, like, we just lost the game, or it wasn't connected to he got hurt and he kind of knows maybe I'm not going to come back from this. It was he just kind of had, like, a mental break, was triggered and just started crying, like, almost uncontrollably, and it was just really weird to watch.
Right.
And for some reason, when I was watching the game with AB doing what he was doing, that was the first thing I thought about, was that kind of just, like, maybe just something snapped. And I think about Vontae Davis, who quit, like, at halftime of a game and just reached the point where I don't want to play football right now.
Exactly.
That was my initial thing.
And then and you also got the guy, Atlanta Falcons receiver. Who
that?
We don't, you don't know what's CTE and what's not, but their number one receiver this year, he quit like after 5 or 6 games. I had him on my fantasy team.
Ridley.
Ridley
from Alabama.
He just needed some space and some personal time away from football. He was like, it's just too much right now, and I just need personal space and personal time away from football.
Right.
And this is my thing. My post thoughts on the Antonio Brown situation, right? Because you see everyone goes into a frenzy. They have their own thoughts about what happened and why it happened originally, right? Before any details got out.
Right.
So now we know that there's a few things happening here. You have, number one, they're losing to an inferior team, the New York Jets, right? They're in the middle of a game, a heated game, and they're losing to a bad football team. Antonio Brown is correct. He's not getting the targets that he would like, right? So you have him and Tom Brady, who, he's telling Tom Brady, yo, you going to pass me the ball today or what? You're only going to pass it to your buddy Gronk. You know what I mean? So what Bruce Arians comes out and says, hey, the players took care of that situation.
At
halftime. And I believe that to be true, because they showed all the camera angles, and they showed Tom Brady go up to him and talk, and it looks like they got that squared away, right?
Right.
The second part to that is, apparently, of course, his ankle is hurt, right?
Right.
And he knows that before the game. The trainers know that before the game. Bruce says he doesn't know anything about that. You're here, you're cleared to play. Basically, that's the angle Bruce is saying. You're here, you're cleared to play. Get out on the field and play.
Right.
Antonio Brown is like, well, now, it's during the middle of the course of the game has been playing. I don't feel healthy enough to go back in the game. Because what Bruce says, he calls the package. That package, Antonio Brown has been a part of all season, all game. So he knows when he hears that to go in the game. So it's heated. They're losing. And Bruce says, you're not going to get in the game. Well, that's it. You're done. You know what I mean?
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here. Antonio Brown is like, fuck, I'm hurt. You're going to cut me, fire me in the middle of the game. That's how he's receiving that. Now, I don't know if Bruce really meant in that moment, like you're cut. You're
right.
We don't know that.
We're terminating the contract.
But that's how Antonio received it, and from that's an honest fucking reaction to have to receive that, to say I'm done. You're cutting me now.
Right.
If somebody talks to you like that, you know what I mean. So that's not out of the realm to think. Right, so he's like, "Oh, you're cutting me? Well, fuck you! I'm out of here." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is my thing. Like, and people like that's home watching, right? They're saying that's so unprofessional, or he has to. Something is wrong. There's something mental illness. When you're in a heated like a battle, intense, like. You can't talk to a person any kind of way. You remember you came to a game, right? You came to a basketball game when I was playing, right?
Yes.
And we were in a 2-3 zone, and how I'm a reserved, calm, chill person no matter what, like in any situation. But we're in a 2-3 zone. I have the middle of the zone, right?
Yeah.
And first of all, I'm not supposed to be in the middle of anybody's 2-3 zone. I can't block any shots. I can barely jump off the 2 feet. But there's nobody else on the team that can play it anyhow. But anyway, there's a guy on the team who fucking, cusses me out in the middle of the game in front of everyone because he says I'm supposed to get the left corner of the 3-point line, the left 3-point corner. I'm supposed to go out there and stop that person from shooting the ball.
Yeah.
That's not my fucking responsibility. But anyway, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. We're playing a 2-3 zone, player zone. You don't know what you're doing. Why the fuck are you even on the team? Like you can't scream and yell at a person in the height of a fucking game. Like everyone's juices are boiling. You're losing. That's not the way to come at a person.
No.
So Bruce is coming at him, screaming at him, "Get the fuck out of here! You cut! I don't need you." Whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
Like how how is that other person supposed to take it? And of course, I lost it. I fucking lost it. I lost it for the rest of the game. Like there's no way I was gonna let that guy get the best of me in a fucking in that type of environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Antonio Brown received it the same way.
I mean, it's complicated because Antonio Brown is saying they had knowledge about my ankle injury, and I tell him that, and then he tells me to me. He says, basically you're done. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's to me Arians looks bad. That's like just not being
when Arians came out and said I didn't know his ankle was hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Antonio comes and released the text messages of him.
Well, and that's that backside of it. I mean, Bruce goes on and says he didn't know he was hurt, and then Antonio posts text messages where they're talking about this injury the day before the game.
Yikes!
It really looks bad for Arians. That's the thing. But when he told the story, he made it more about Antonio's pissed about not getting the targets, and nothing to do with the ankle. So somebody's lying.
Yeah, and you know what? The truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
as it always is.
100%.
As it always. I think it's a little of both. Yeah. I do. You know what I really think? What I really, really think, and I'm like 98% sure this is really what happened. I think Antonio Brown was hampered, as fucking 98% of NFL players are, but. He's not getting thrown the ball, and they're losing. So he's like, I'm hurting. I'm out here giving my all for a team, and I'm hurt. And you're not going to throw me the fucking ball, and I feel like I'm open? Yeah. What am I doing out here?
Yeah.
Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're losing? Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
So like, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to chill. I'm going to get out you guys' way because I'm just out here running and hurting for no fucking reason.
Right.
You know what
I mean,
so I think
that's the most realistic scenario is that he was hurt. He's trying to play through it. He's not getting the ball. It's like, why am I here?
Why?
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Playing. And he's, in sports, you're there like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I'm just running up and down for cardio.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get the ball to shoot.
Yeah, exactly. But, that's where the thing is. It's like, that makes a whole lot of sense. But there has to be some, interpersonal, pent up hostility. Because it doesn't, if you have a lot of, if you have some equity in a relationship, you're not going to, it's not going to go that south that quick unless there's just stuff like simmering right below the surface.
It's built up. What did you say right before we went on air? You said somebody said that would BA say, hey, this is BA when he's texting him?
Yeah.
Think about that. That means that, well, first of all, maybe he hasn't been texting them all year, AB. Or maybe they know that they don't have each other's numbers saved. Like, there's no relationship there.
Yeah,
if he has to say, hey, this is BA, da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know that they haven't been communicating via text or calls all year.
Yeah. You don't have an ongoing stream of communication with that person that you're like, whatever, Tuesday we said this. Now it's Friday. I'm checking in, whatever. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that there's probably not a good relationship there.